And we're back here in the penthouse. I'm EC, joined by Fear, and finally, after a little bit more downtime than we actually expected, we get to get into a game. It's going to be CIS taking on HGT, and the way things have shaped up, HGT's 2-0. They're actually on top of the leaderboard. CIS is 1-1, not bad, obviously, but it's going to be a brutal 1-1 because there was that beast of a game they were in, and they did get a win, but it was like the second longest game in professional play history, and they won it, and that's nice, but then they went to another beast of a game just before. It was a back and forth, and ended up losing that one.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking okay. They're looking decent, but HGT, one of the favorites coming into this, so they got a really tough match and a really important match coming up right now.
We'll go ahead and jump right on into the draft. As you can see, it's underway. CIS, again, coming just off of a loss to Tongfu, looking to bounce back and get themselves on the right side of 500. They lead off with an Invoker and a Darkseer pick. HGT with a Treant and an OD, the old dirty, making an appearance. It's been a while since we've seen him drafted, actually. And the bans, bans on both sides. Bat, Lycan, and Tide. Tidehunter's been getting so much love for the last, like, I don't know, week or so. We've been seeing him picked a lot more often. And for HGT, they get rid of the Naga, the Ancient Apparition, Nyx, and TA.
Yeah, Tide is a really strong offlaner right now. I think he's going to be valued pretty highly coming up to TI here. And yeah, we got OD here. Normal pick against Invoker. We don't see it too often, but it's very strong against Invoker. So they're either going to have Invoker tough it out and go Exort build. And it's not the greatest lane for Invoker, but if you do go Exort, you have a small chance to do well. And you can always use those Forge Spirits to go to the jungle. But if he goes Qualifiers, he's totally screwed in that lane. So he has no choice but to do that. Or they need to dodge and put something else mid, and they can do a safe lane Invoker, which I'm not a huge fan of that at all. So early pick from OD. Could screw them over. So, but Treant is another hero. It works okay with OD. I'm not the biggest fan because you need to play aggressive. But if they do go aggressive with Tree and give that OD that 1v1 matchup, that would work really well for them.
Well, I want you to talk to me for a minute about OD. For a while there, he was very constantly picked in the first phase. Picked, banned, whatever. And we saw him kind of fall out of favor just about everywhere at the same time. What was the reason for that?
For the most part, OD was picked all the time, and then teams started counterpicking. They got smarter on how to deal with OD. You can gank him, and you can pick the Nyx Assassin against him, which was banned out in the second phase, so they're not going to get that. Razor's another pickup you can do against them. And, like, people just started counterpicking him, and they realized with OD is you have to really win your lane for him to be really good. He doesn't come back very well. So if you get behind on the back foot just a little bit, it could cause you some problems. But seeing that CIS kind of, like, they showed their hand right away, Darkseer Invoker, so that really limits on what they can do to really shut down this OD. So I think if there was a good time to pick OD, this is a great game for it. And we're going to have a Dazzle pick up too, which complements them pretty well. They're not really showing what they want for their carry right now, but they do need to address this mid lane, I feel.
Yeah, like you said, the mid lane, Invoker, and Invoker is becoming very quickly, just because teams are seeing so much of him or playing against him in a variety of ways. It seems like, Invoker's becoming another one of those heroes that gives you a lot or gives you nothing. Like, either he has a great start and he just becomes that monster of a beast that you want him to be in the mid game and on through, or he just gets shut down. And we saw that in our first series that we casted today. The Invoker just had zero influence. HGT, though, adds a bit of burst and a little bit of AoE with the Centaur. I actually really like that pick. Treant and Centaur together, those two, especially early on, you could just rush them to the front of about any fight, and the enemy team has to make up their mind. Do we engage through these two massive, difficult to bring down heroes and do so at a disadvantage, or do we run? And it gives you a chance to set the pace very quickly. Yeah,
and it's also two frontline tanks that can get in there so OD can get the damage done.
Right, exactly.
So it fits really well with their lineup here. And I still really feel that picking this Darkseer Invoker really they kind of picked themselves into a corner here. So what can they possibly do to deal with this OD lane? I think the best bet is just have Invoker tough it out and go not go Quaswex, but go for Exort. And to bring up your point again, Invoker does either really well or doesn't too much. And I think Quaswex is kind of falling off right now. It doesn't feel to be nearly as strong as Exort. So they're going to take a Sand King. They're just going to bide their time and try to figure out what they want to do about this mid lane, but I have a feeling it's just going to be an Invoker versus OD matchup. They could go for something like that Razor pick, but I feel like picking a Razor in this situation will give you a pretty overall weak lineup.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing is, what are your options here? I mean, you could do something really crazy if you're CIS, go like a 3-support tri-lane, and you see that sometimes. It's not unheard of. And, you know, if you wanted to go like a Razor mid, then solo safety Invoker or something like that. But I think you really hit the nail on the head with the idea that they kind of picked themselves into a corner because they're kind of all over the place right now. They've got decent team fight with the Darkseer and the Sand King, Dazzle, an individual playmaker. Invoker can be a beast. And, you know, I don't know. The Sand King pick, though, kind of makes me wonder if they're not planning to just go Quas Wex because, I mean, that's what else do they really have as an option? You know, Invoker can deal a mass amount of damage, but he kind of needs someone else to help him do damage in terms of a carry. And Black is going to have his anti-mage banned away. I don't know. Like, I want to see what CIS wants to do. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy. The option's there. But for the most part, I just feel like HGT is way ahead in the draft.
Yeah, I definitely like HGT's lineup a lot here, but I do like that Sand King pick. The Darkseer Sand King, you've seen it a lot. It's not that hard to pull off, just the vacuum into the Burrow Strike, into the wall. I mean, if you get the Epi off too, even better, but you don't even really need it. But they really need to put it all together now. Even something like a Faceless Void pick wouldn't be too terrible for them.
No.
But it'd be a little greedy, so if they did go aggressive, he might have some problems. I'm not sure what they take here. It's, of course. That's another hero that does go well against OD 1v1.
Yeah.
Viper does, it should beat an OD mid, to be honest with you, in all fairness, but it's just not as useful as OD throughout the whole game. And that's also going to put Invoker in like a safe lane kind of role, and it's going to make their late game far less superior than HGT's.
CIS feels all in, dude. Like,
yeah, they are.
This is a lineup that it's like, honestly, if you're CIS and you're looking at the draft, you go, all right, so we win the first 20 minutes hard, or we may as well GG.
Yeah.
Like what comeback mechanic do they have? I mean, their control is okay, I guess. I mean, in terms of dedicated stuns, what do you have? You have Burrow Strike, and that's kind of it. Like, you've got some slows, you've got Cold Snap. Eventually, even if you do go Exort, you'll have access to Tornado and all that, but you're just really lacking outside of big wombo combo potential, you know what I mean? And yeah, HGO, I actually like that pick a lot. That screws the Sand King so hard. That just, I mean, everyone is kind of boned by that, but Sand King, Pugna just ruins his day.
Yeah, I'm talking about people getting ruined by this. Invoker getting wrecked by Pugna. Darkseer, wrecked by Pugna.
Yep.
Dazzle, wrecked by Pugna. The only one that's not getting screwed by this is Viper, but...
And Viper's Viper. So.
Viper's a Viper. I'm not going to go on about my Viper experiences, but...
I remember when we were discussing that downstairs a couple of nights ago. It kind of came down to a choice that I posed to you. Is it clown shoes or is it trash can? It's one of the two. And you went with trash can. So I don't know. We'll see if CIS can make it work and surprise us as well as surprise HGT. This is a big game for HGT, though, because, I mean, what these qualifiers usually turn into before long is kind of a race to a number, a race to 4 wins, a race to 5 wins, or what have you. 5 wins puts you in the mix for tiebreakers almost certainly. I'm getting a tremendous amount of lag,
me
by
too.
the way.
It's
Okay.
just this perfect world server, I think.
Yep. So
everyone's like, I think it's almost everyone, but
Yep.
they're not pausing, so it must be on our end. I'm going to reconnect
I don't
real
know.
quick and see if that does
Yeah,
anything.
you try to reconnect. Yeah, I'm going to have to reconnect as well. Yeah, we're actually going to end up missing action. Are you reconnecting now?
I'm trying to, yes.
Yeah, just showed you disconnected. And if it fixes for you, then I'll do the same thing. But, yes, hopefully not a whole lot happens, guys. Would hate to miss the action. Looks like they moved down and dropped a ward. We can suss that much out and are now pulling back. Are you even able to get back in?
It's still loading, so we'll see.
Someone from the EU hub immediately disconnected as well. So
yeah, I think we're just getting some lag all over the place from the west.
Yeah, this is never any fun.
Not a good server for us.
No. All right, he's back, and he went right before you. Well, you're back in. Is it still? Nope, it's working.
It's a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and
It's still
do
choppy,
that.
but it's better.
All right, guys, just hang on 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. And yeah, I can't actually leave like.
Treant's still skating around. I don't know. I actually have no idea. Wait, what did you do? Did you
like that? There we go. All right. So hopefully we'll be back in just a minute, guys. Sorry you're getting the radio treatment at the moment. And yeah,
I mean, not too much going on. They just harassed the Darkseer out on the bottom lane. So he's having a little rough time. He actually skilled Surge first. I know you don't have any video right now, but I'll give you a little play-by-play what's going on here.
We're in the radio territory, dude. This is mine. This is where I come from.
But this is really strange. Like, Darkseer is forced into going Surge level 1. He got, like, Tree just walked up him, put a Leech Seed on top of him, and was forced to just Surge out. So he's going to have a rough lane. And going into mid lane here, it looks like Viper and OD are doing... They're averaging out here, but I'm getting some lag still here, so it's kind of like going to be a slideshow match, to be honest with you. But mid lane seems to be a wash as well, and on the off lane, Centaur, he's just getting what he can done, but just not much, just trying to soak some experience. He is up to his level 2, so he's not doing too bad, and he doesn't have to be too afraid in this either. So on top lane, we do just have the safe lane farming Invoker with the Dazzle up here, with the jungling / roaming stanking.
All right, we're back in the game, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you... This isn't awful. I've casted games much worse. I'll tell you when it's going to get bad. It's a team fight, so because what tends to happen is you get that weird, like, the animation goes off, but the effects are felt immediately, but like the animation's super delayed and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll either improve or we'll at least be able to give you a general gist of what's taking place. Invoker doing quite well at top, and it's actually being played by Black, so that's always fun to see. Early laning phase. Give me a couple of goals you think each team really needs to be focused on.
I mean, for the most part, right now, it's just mid isn't going to do much. But this is good. If you can get a kill on this OD, that'll be huge with Invisible Sand King just sitting on his hill right now. So, if they manage to get this kill, that is exactly what they need to do here. But Darkseer's in a really crappy situation. He had to go search level 1. I don't know how he was forced into that, but... That's going to hurt big time. Looks like they can't get a kill in mid. He has no mana for... so even if they do get the stun off, he won't be able to do much. So it's just going to be a farm fest for the most part in this early game.
Yep, no, they're going to go ahead and start auto-attacking. Burrow strike on in. And yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of mana, but he's got enough. And they may be able to track him down. One more auto-attack. Sunstrike!
Oh! I don't know what's going on, but he's dead.
Yeah, there it is. All right, I'm not going to lie. He disappeared, and I didn't know if he imprisoned himself or if I had no idea. I said, oh, because it looked like it should have hit. No idea if he imprisoned himself or what.
I'm going to reconnect, see if that helps at all. Yep. This is almost unwatchable.
No, this is kind of a nightmare. That was. I love that we both went, and then there's a delay. And 3 seconds later, first blood. But again, sorry for the issue, guys. It's obviously tough remoting in from the West Coast on into China, and the server's not the best we've ever seen, or at least our connection to it. Don't want to blame the servers. It's not the server's fault. June, in the meantime, at bottom, is being forced off of his tower, and yep, Tree's just gonna stand here. It's all good, dude. Just kicking it. Bottom tier 1 should end up dropping here, as he can honestly just drag creeps here if he feels like. An Ion Shell obviously makes that bit of a pain in the butt, but it's not gonna matter. It's gonna get there too late. Tier 1 down at bottom, so early advantage. Going to HGT, even though CIS did manage to net that early first blood.
It does seem like when I reconnected again, it's a lot better now. So I would suggest maybe one more reconnect just to stop the lag.
Yep, we'll give it a shot. All right, keep giving him the radio.
So basically, right now on bottom lane, we have the Pugna. He's got his Bassi up. They're just spamming this poor Darkseer out. They're going for 2 towers. It's already 4 minutes in. If they can manage to bring this tower down, doesn't look like it. Dazzle's going to come down here, but he's forcing top lane to like bring the Dazzle down here, which is going to give a lot of space to Centaur. He's up to level 4 right now. He's going to catch a Sand King who's behind him, and nothing big is going to happen over here. Centaur's just being forced out for now. Black is on the top lane as well. He's at 30 CS. Pugna's also at 30 CS. Mid lane is actually, it's a pretty low CS in game. Both of them have got a lot of denies. We've got 13 denies on OD and 17 last hits. And Viper only has 12 last hits and 5 denies. So OD is getting the better end of the exchange here in the mid lane. Back on bottom lane, or are they going to go back for the pull? If I were them, I would sack this small camp and then go for another push as soon as you can. ZSMJ does have his arcane boots up, and it looks like yours got worse.
Maybe.
Oh man.
Yep, we're back in game, and yeah, this really kind of stinks. And there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Like, it's working well on yours. Like, I don't think I can switch to your monitor though.
I'm
or
not
I would
sure
just cast from
can.
yours.
Yeah, it's just like every time you reconnect, you get a new server.
Yeah, something. I have no idea what's going on. We'll try to keep up with it as best we can, and of course for the benefit of our Dota TV viewers in-game. So we'll try, guys. Stream viewers, very sorry. And maybe if there's some downtime after the laning phase, And Jesus, this is awful. Like,
yeah, it's unwatchable, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and continue to try to reconnect. So
no
you go
one else
ahead
can
and
do it. Yeah, I mean, right now there's literally nothing going on anyways. Right now, OD sitting here mid lane, just getting. He's farming pretty well. Looks like they're going to go for a kill attempt on mid lane. I'm not sure if they have the damage. They do have the OD ult, so it looks like Viper is going to go on down in the mid lane to the OD.
CTY.
They might be able to go on CTY here, but I think he should be just fine. Oh, no, the Dazzle's here. They're going to go in. Are they going to get him? They do have some wards here, so they're going to be able to get the Sand King. Sand King is going to go down. So that's a 2-for-0 exchangement. The Hasted Tree comes in. The Sand King and the Viper go down. And HGT do not lose a single hero there.
Nope, Midas done for the Invoker in the meantime. I'm watching off Fear screen.
Oh, and we do have a kill. The Rubik did somehow run up into the dire jungle. Not sure why he was there. Got picked off by the Dark Seer.
Terrible camera control. Terrible. You missed the kill.
Yeah, sorry viewers for missing that kill.
Terrible.
But yeah, the Viper does go down there, which is actually a huge deal. He's struggling hard in this middle lane.
Yeah,
and then in the meanwhile, we're just getting some free farm on the Centaur here. And also, Pugna is free farming, so CIS in a bit of trouble here in this early game.
Yeah, this is, like, terrible. Terrible.
This is, yours. Yeah, that's
all right, honestly,
awful.
do you know what the best solution is going to be?
Hmm.
Oh, fuck, I can't. Can we do that? If you stay in. No, we're going through mine. No, we're both going in individually. I was going to say if I could watch it from Dota TV or something like that.
You'd have to leave the game, which I mean we'd be committed.
Yep, exactly.
But at this point, is that a bad thing?
Depends on who we want to service. Honestly.
Who's getting service at all here?
Exactly. All right, what do you think? Should we do Dota TV?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right, guys.
I think we're just...
Hang on one second. We'll be right back on Dota TV. Sorry for the inconvenience, obviously, though. The ping and the lag, unplayable and unwatchable. So we'll return in just a moment. All right, we're back, guys, and sorry to, well, I don't know why I'm saying sorry to the Dota TV, to the in-game viewers, because they're not going to hear us, but yeah, this is much better. We can actually watch and bring you the game via cast, and they're going to engage on the CTY, but able to pull back. I hate when this stuff happens.
Yeah, we got a huge stack. Look at this Ion Shell on the Sand King over there. That's cute. He's going to farm that so big. The Sand King farming the big camp. Other camp.
There he is.
There you go.
Yep.
That's huge.
Going to end up giving all that gold to Darkseer, though.
He's going to get a lot of it. Yeah, that's only a level 1 Sandstorm. It's weird. He put 2 points into the burrow instead of the Sandstorm, so he's going to actually lose out on a lot of gold here because he's not going to have the cooldown or the damage here.
Yep. And you can jungle very quickly with Sand King, but you have to have 2 points in the Sandstorm. It's so slow otherwise. And
yeah, it doesn't last long enough either.
Yep, exactly. But we'll try to get back into the flow of the game, guys, and figure out where things stand as we've been fighting connection issues. For the moment, Pugna is #1. Yep, they're just caught up and said I disconnected. Pugna is #1 on the overall CS board. He's going straight up mech, so HGT is going to have the option to push really, really quickly. Taking a look at the Centaur, he doesn't quite have his Blink Dagger up or anywhere near it. So once they get the Blink on the Centaur, though, especially if the Pugna is able to have the mech up, which he will after the death of his towers, it's not even going to be contested. Once this is down and he has his mech up, they're going to be able to just start kind of getting all their guns forward and walking down lane.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Pugna, once he finishes that mech, like you said, he's just going to go straight for mid tower or top tower directly after. I assume it'll probably be mid tower because they can just walk there really easily. But he is kind of low on mana, so he might go back and heal and go for... The only advantage for going for top tower would be it'll allow OD to keep free farming. He doesn't really want people coming into his lane and disrupting his farm, as he is going for that Midas here. And Viper, it looks like he's going for the mech too, but he's a pretty far way away. Like I said, he was struggling in this mid lane. Got 21 denies on top of that OD, but he's actually relatively close as far as straight up CS goes.
HGT smoking some personnel into mid, hoping to catch Inflame out a little bit. Getting right in range is going to be the Stampede and the Astral Imprison. Looking for the stomp right afterwards. Going to be well-timed, and this should be an easy kill for them, and they're going to be able to push right after that. And this is exactly what I was talking about. As soon as that mech comes out, even though the Centaur is lacking his blink tag, if they have blink, it would be especially brutal, but they're just going to be able to do this and play this patiently as they want. And, you know, something we didn't even talk about is Essence Aura and the way it functions with heroes like Pugna. Once you get the mech out and you have Essence Aura there to help everyone's mana, it's huge.
Yeah, it's dirty. Like, if he's able, he's not getting any procs, but if he does get any procs or placing the Nether Ward or spamming the Blast, they can just keep on going. Same with Rubik too. If he's able to steal something like Ion Shell or Dazzle Heal will be huge for them if he can.
And we just saw right there it came into play. We saw the Arc Boots let him get his mana up enough to cast another one more. And now even I love what they're doing, because now they've got Arc Boots up on Rubik, they've got Arc Boots up on the Treant Protector, you've got Essence R, you've got Centaur, who's going to benefit from it as much or more than anyone. Pugna, whose big limiting factor is often, I mean, hell, he's got Arc Boots up too. So, like, you want to talk about just mass Arc Boots and their ability to just start walking down a lane and daring you to come out and fight them for an extended period of time. Just a gigantic advantage for HGT right now. I love the way that they're executing this composition.
Yeah, right now, you have to be worried for CIS right now. Because, like, how do they defend here? Like, Darkseer, I don't know what he's going for, but he's at 1,000 gold right now. And he's not going to be a factor until he gets levels. That's just how the hero works. Until you level your vacuum and wall up, you don't really do much.
Right.
Sand King on top of it, he's getting close to his Blink Dagger, and that's really what they need right now. They need a Blink so badly on this Sand King. And right now, Black, he's going the Exort build, but there's not much he can do to defend these towers because Pugna's Ward will just destroy an Exort Invoker. If you just try casting your combo and that ward is down, you're just going to kill yourself.
They're going to take a run at the Centaur. They're rotating through. They're going to run into a lot of trouble. If this is timed poorly, they're actually going to run out just as the rest show their face. And, yep, they're going to have a pop. Now they have to decide, are they going to engage or not? Centaur's able to make it back to the side shop. Telekinesis onto Inflame. There's going to be a decrep on the Demons. Now they're going to re-engage Burrow Strike onto XTT, but the damage is too big. It was stolen by Rubik, and he's using that along with the Treant Protector to flip the script. The Sand King's going to end up dropping, and now the rest of CIS has to retreat as CTY shows up with a Haste Rune, just teeing off and dropping the hammer to make it a big turnaround.
Oh, man.
4-0, and that's what I was talking about. You could see it. It's like watching a car wreck in slow motion, man. It's like if they run out before HGT showed themselves, and they ran out just as they all showed up. Big four-man wipe, a tier 1 down, and this one looking ugly already.
Yeah, we might have a very short game.
No, we won't. Are you kidding, dude? Not in this region.
If they can make this game last over 60 minutes, I will be utterly impressed. But they're just going to get every single tower. Pugna's already got his point booster up, and all these heroes need to do is get tanky.
Yep.
Like we only have a Midas up for OD, so he's still really squishy, but the Blink Dagger is up on Centaur. You might take a go at this.
They're waiting it out a little bit, and wow, look at June. He has to get Grave, but there's the Burrow Strike. Burrow Strike, by the way, one of the best spells in the game for a Rubik to steal, and manages to get it, and the ward's
down. The ward.
Oh, dude, it's brutal. Brutal. And yeah, like ZSNJ, look at him. He's perpetually full mana. They have 3 sets of Arc Boots and an Essence Aura. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the cool thing about OD too, these Forge Spheres are usually. Oh, never mind. We're gonna have an initiation here.
Yep.
Looks like they're both gonna get blown up here.
Dead skis and Stampede off cooldown. Black's dead, and he Force Staffs himself right into the middle of the rest of them. Sentry Ward goes down, and he ends up dropping. And yeah, I, honest to goodness, have no idea what they can do. Like this, and this is what we were talking about. You know, you draft a lineup like this that is kind of one-dimensional, doesn't really do a whole lot well, and is just so dependent on the Viper and the Invoker going crazy. If they don't, this happens. Especially HGT's draft is just so good, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's really well thought out.
Yeah.
And they're they're really confident in it too. The way they play this, it's just every move they make, it has a purpose. So like they're going tower to tower, killing everything, and there's no counter push on CIS. The way they drafted, they just can't defend these towers. Viper, he cannot defend towers. He's a single target character, and it looks like we're gonna have pickoffs after pickoffs. If they want to go on this Viper here, he's still pretty far off this mech. I mean, he's only recipe op, but when you're in a situation like this, that feels like miles and miles away.
This is just ugly. Like, another tower down. That's 13 minutes, 41 seconds. Every single tier 2 is down.
Yeah, this is like what we expect to see from top Chinese teams.
Yep.
Like, when they get an advantage like this, like, they just take it and they just make it, they make no mistakes whatsoever. They don't get picked out, and they don't let you come back from a game like this. Every time I watch Chinese teams play, like at the highest level, when they get ahead, they don't make mistakes, and I rarely see them lose a game when they're this commanding, they have this commanding of a lead.
Well, I'll tell you what's making them so dominant, and you and I were watching some of the other games when we had downtime, and we were talking about how a lot of those teams just weren't pressing their advantage. Yeah. HGT is not struggling in that department at all. At all. They know they have a lead, and they're willing to push it as hard as they can. And we do see a blink daggers up on Sand King, but this is where the Pugna just bones you. You cannot blink. You cannot epicenter blink if the ward's down. You can't. Literally, it's impossible.
No, you can't. You can do, like, the level 1 epicenter especially, because it's going to disable your dagger for 3 seconds. You do have the 2-second chanting, which you have 1 second, but after that, you're going to be out. Their epi is going to be done. So it's going to do nothing. So, rough situation here. He has to blink in with the Burrow Strike first, and hopefully they can follow up with a nice wall. It's only level 2, and no... Yeah, they have level 2 vacuum, no wall. So there is no follow-up whatsoever.
Right. And he just gets worse, man. The Pugna now has a Necro book up. Centaur just finished his hood. This is... honestly, if this continues on this path, and we don't see CIS pull a miracle soon... this might be the most dominating game we've seen in any qualifier so far. Like, I just feel like every single part of an important game, the draft, the composition, the item selection, the laning phase, HGT is just crushed.
I think close competitor to that would be game 2 of Nar versus Liquid.
Yeah, that's it.
That was an 8-minuter, but
right.
This is still very brutal. But that one ended like in a quick style fashion, while this one is just
look
like
at the gold,
systematic.
Dude.
Yeah,
like the thing is when we saw the GG in that game, the gold was about at this level. It's just that CIS isn't giving up. That's the difference.
They're not getting it off just like completely dominating team fights. Like, where do we go? It's just they had a plan throughout the beginning of the game. And CIS, they don't have an answer. Like, the way they drafted, just... And there's a Centaur being deployed for not sure what, but...
Yeah, I have no idea either. I was looking... It's one of those moments where as a caster controlling the camera, you panic because you hear that go off and go, oh crap, I'm missing something.
Yeah, it just doesn't hit anything. They do have the mech flying out to Viper now, which will give them some nice sustain. But they're 6 towers down. They might just be waiting for this pipe, and then they're just going to go up, and they're going to just kill Black, because why not?
Because he's there. And
oh, misclick.
Yep. And Black, able to make it away. Oh, he actually missed with the ulti, too. So, HGT, as we've been building them up, tearing themselves down, it doesn't matter, though, as Rubik just going ham. He and CTY are both on mega kill streaks. Double damage.
Yeah,
GG. Well, not going to lie, dude. It's a little frustrating because we were supposed to have casted this game a while ago. And whatever. HGT, who I proudly claim as my dark horse pick, and everyone disagreed with me, claimed them as my dark horse pick to maybe make it top 2. I don't think anyone doubted they would go top 4.
Yes.
But if they can continue to play like this, draft like this, and execute like this, sky's the limit, I really think. 13-2, 16 minutes, 48 seconds, the official game time, and I don't know, man. I got nothing. You got something for me?
I mean, HGT, they did look strong, but to be fair, CIS handed them this game on a silver platter with the draft. It's like, if you pick a draft, like, they weren't expecting this last pick, Pugna, I don't think. I think it just totally screwed them up.
We're going to take a look at the schedule. I was motioning here, trying to make sure we can direct you to the appropriate place.
That was brutal, man. That was brutal.
It was not pleasant.
I don't like these last pick Vipers. I don't know.
Well, you and I are kind of done. No, wait, that's right. We've got that makeup game to do.
Yeah, we have a makeup game.
Yep. So that'll be coming up. I'm gonna guess at like 6:20. So
yeah, sometime.
Quite some time from now. You're talking like 3 hours 20 minutes. You have another game though coming up.
I'm gonna be casting
right before that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be casting with Fog. This will be interesting. We're both analysts, no play-by-play guys, so we're just gonna we're gonna wing it.
people are gonna love that, dude.
Whatever.
People are gonna love that.
It'll be fun regardless. But yeah, HGT, looking good. Gotta say.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. 17-minute GG.
Strong drafting, I gotta say. Like, weak drafting from CIS, but HGT, strong drafting.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I love seeing compositions like this because we talked about all the advantages they had, never touched on just how important Essence Aura was in all of this, and the fact that, okay, now Pugna has a mech, now there's Essence Aura. What's the big problem that heroes like Centaur and Pugna face a lot? Usually mana issues. You get 3 sets of Arc Boots, Essence Aura, and a mechanism. You just don't leave the other side of the river. You don't have to.
No. You definitely don't have to. They didn't even need 3 arcane boots.
No.
They could have done it with 1
easily.
Exactly. But you got 3 just because why not?
Exactly.
I don't know. Not too much to talk about. Brutal stomp at the end of the day.
Indeed. Pugna, it's of interest. Didn't finish with a single kill or death. He was 0-0-9, 0-0-4 on the tree as well. And yeah, there's other stuff going on the other streams. I was honestly going to tell you what to go watch, but I don't know anymore. The schedule got borked, and we don't have any idea. I can tell you that coming up at...
Well, LGD is playing New Element right now. I think that's probably the best game running.
There you go.
New Element did take a game off of, who was that, DT recently, so they could be looking good.
That would be LD and Fogged doing that if everything's still according to schedule. Find them on the mainstream Beyond the Summit 1. I'm not sure if we actually, again, honestly, things are so messed up because the games got switched. We should, in theory, have Gods and Base Skip up here for CMB versus Tongfu coming up. So make sure you catch that just about an hour from now. And then on the mainstream, towards the end of the night, Fogged and Fear, as mentioned, will be doing Orinda versus CIS. That'll be at 5 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, 8 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. And at 6, that makes it 2 p.m., I think. That sounds right. And if you're in Central Europe. Oh. And then Fear and I will be back on to do our makeup game, which was DT versus New Element, which honestly I'm really looking forward to because apparently New Element's doing all right.
Yeah, New Element. Well, I'm not sure how well they're doing, but they did take that game. So they're looking strong in that one game at least.
Yep. And you can find us both on Twitter. May as well plug that as well. I'm at AC, at AYESEE, and you are?
At FearDota.
Simple stuff, man. Check us out there. Check out the mainstream, and stay locked here to the NA Hub. All of the action presented by Monster Energy. TI4, the qualifiers roll on. We'll be back in a little bit.